Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sandor Biszak and I came from Hungary, from ARCANUM database company. ARCANUM is a digitizing company. We digitize everything in Hungary, journals, scientific journals, books, ancient books, and medieval charters too. But our special knowledge is in the field of the old historical maps. So the Mapire is a website of the historical maps of Habsburg Empire. The owner of the website is Austrian State Archive, and the contributors is Hungarian State Archive, Croatian State Archive, City Archives of Budapest, and we digitized cadastral maps in Ukraine with the Beregovo regional archives. The Mapire was invented and developed and financed by ARCANUM. It's for free for the institution. What is the contents of the Mapire? The first step was to digitize the military survey in Kriegsarchiv, Vienna. The first military survey was made in 1763 in whole Austria. The scale was in 1 to 28,000. The second military survey was made in the 19th century, in the beginning of 19th century, and the scale was the same. And the third military survey was made in Hungary in 1880. It was 1 to 25,000 the scale. And the third military survey of Austro-Hungarian monarchy in 1 to 75,000 scale. The most important, this scale means that we can see every house in every settlement in the whole monarchy, in the whole Habsburg Empire. I'm sure that the first and second military survey is the best historical maps in the world. I never seen such a detailed, beautiful, handwritten manuscript maps in the world. So I think the main reason of the success of Mapire, because it's very popular in the world, is the sources. The sources comes from the Kriegsarchiv, Vienna, and the main reason of the popularity is the old handwritten manuscript detailed maps for the whole monarchy. After it, the first step was to make military survey to publish on the Mapire, and after it we are working with the cadastral maps. We have many cadastral maps in Hungary. We have a whole collection in Croatia, and we have Transcarpathia, maybe Ciscarpathia region in Ukraine, around Ungvar and Beregovo, today Ukraine territory. And we have interesting application for Budapest City Archive. We digitized 35 very detailed maps and we publish it on the Google Maps. The software possibilities. The most important things that we have so-called georeferenced maps. Georeference means that we define GPS coordinates for every pixel on the maps. And in this case, we can make a layer to Google Maps or OpenStreetMap, and we can publish it on the Google Maps. We can change the opacity of the today and historical maps, and we can synchronize the different maps. Or we can make a live demonstration. We can see Bielovar in the left side from the first military survey. It was made in 1760. We can see Bielovar was a small, everything was a small village in that time. So maybe Zagreb was a small village in that time. So on the left-hand side, we can see Bielovar in 1760, and the right side, we can see Bielovar in 18 50. So we can synchronize the two maps, and we can move together, and we can see the old village, the Velike Sredice, Stara Polje is the name of on the field, I think, and the next village is Budovac, maybe. I'm sure that Budovac is part of the Bjelovar today. It's typical that a small village go to the bigger one. So we can change the opacity, as I told you. So we can see the today Google Maps, and we can change Budovac to the old maps. And we can see that the precision of the so-called georeferencing is very good, because the roots and the house is there. So we can change the different layers of the maps. And we can use the Google name search, and we can use a very good Google name search, and we can see Zagreb, for example. And we can see Zagreb in 70. Yes, it was a very small town in that time. And you can see Zagreb 100 years later. So we can change the opacity, we can synchronize the different map sheets, and we can measuring the distance, measuring the area, and we can use the three-dimensional possibility. So we can fly an Opatija 200 years ago. So we can change the landscape, and we can see Opatija was about 4 or 5 house in that time, in 70, 60. And we can see Zagreb. And we can see Medveščak. Yes. We can see Medveščak above us, and we can fly above the Medveščak 200 years ago. So this is the three-dimensional possibilities. You can use it by phone, by iPad, so every smartphone or any computer, you can use this possibility. One thing you need for the 3D possibilities is the Google Earth. The data are stored in the Amazon S3 cloud. It's very important that the cloud has unlimited capacity because it's a very popular website, and when many user comes to ARCANUM, everything was crashed. We cannot build up so much server which can serve 30,000 users per day. It's not possible on our side. So about 1 year ago, we went to the Amazon cloud. Every time I heard about the cloud, I think it's the future, but it's for today. The cloud works, it's very, very cheap, it's not expensive, and we store the data at Amazon. Amazon, the same company who sell the books, and we store the data. And now if 50,000 people come for Mapire for the day, it works well, and everybody can use the system in very fast. Let's see some words about the Croatian cadastral maps. We digitized the cadastral maps in the National Archive about 3 or 4 years ago. There was 25,000 big sheets in National Archives without Dalmatia and Istria and Međimurje, and Baranja. Now I'm very familiar with the Croatian region and Croatian state, so now I understand what I tell you. The military border cadastral map was made in very early, it was in 1850, and the civil parts was made later in 1860. We digitized in 3D PI, true color, uncompressed TIFF, about 3 terabyte. We know very well we saw that we know very well the cadastral maps in the whole Habsburg Empire, but there was some special problems with Croatian maps, Croatian cadastral maps. The first was the special forest sheets. This is a Sumski Reviri in your country. I have been working since 3 years with the Sumski Reviri, but I don't understand what's happened in Croatia with the Sumski Reviri. It's never been in other region of the Habsburg Empire, not in Romania, not in Ukraine, not in Hungary. So I try to understand the special Sumski Reviri. It was separated, measured from the settlements. So this was very special problem, and the project was a common investment. The Croatian state had served the maps, give the maps, and we made the scanning, georeferencing, and make a puzzle, they make a mosaic, and published it on the internet. Just 2 sentences about the cadastral maps in the whole empire. We have, and you have cadastral maps about 66 times 53 uncolored sheets without names. In general, in Hungary and in Croatia, it is in general in national archives and land office sometimes. About 2,500 sheets per county, and we digitized the whole collection in Croatian state archives. Unfortunately, there are many draft copies and poor quality sheets everywhere. Sometimes, many times, the original maps doesn't exist. Indikácie skice, another copies of the cadastral maps, the small colored and folded maps with the owner name on the maps. And in general, in Hungary, it's stored in county regional archives, about 10,000 sheets per county. But we didn't find the indikácie skice in your country. Just only before yesterday, I saw many indikácie skice in Osijek from Baranja. I don't understand the reason in Hungary and in Ukraine too, the indikácie skice stored in the regional archive. It's important because many of the cadastral map is missing, and it would be used, the indikácie skice from the collection. But it's not possible now. What is the goal? The goal to publish the whole collection on the internet, and it's necessary to make a georeferencing. I speak about that to you. It gives the best result. The georeferencing means that we define GPS coordinates for every pixel for the maps. In this case, we need some information about the old maps, the old geodetic system. How do you think about the old engineering? How do you think about the Earth? What was the projection system? What is the grid? What is the coordination system? What is the scale? The geodetic system is the same in the whole monarchy. This is stereographic projection, and the scale is the same. And the grid you can see on the picture. It is a little bit complicated, but it's important that in Croatia, the center point in Ivanić Kloster, Ivanić Grad in Hungary, and part of the Croatia is the Gellért Hill in Budapest. And there is a coordinate system and one gray is one sheet, and the information is on the map. So if we speak about georeferencing in practice, we have theoretical knowledge. We have the close cooperation with the Budapest University. There are some guys who are working with the old historical maps, especially the Habsburg monarchy maps, and they are all scientific background. They understand the ellipsoid and projection system and projection parameters. And if we want to make a georeferencing, we need a skeleton. Skeleton is here on the cover sheet of the maps. And we need coordinates in the upper right side of the maps. There is a coordinates. And if we have luck, we have both the skeleton, we have coordinates. If there is no, we don't have luck, and the work is much more harder. The georeferencing, after we know everything, is a manual work. We have to define the 4 corner points on the sheet by manual way, and after it, we can make a settlement mosaic, and after it we have to make a settlement border, and if we have settlement border we can combine the settlements and we can make a county mosaic. There are many problems with the georeferencing: no skeleton, no coordinates, irregular sheet, many mistakes in the original coordinates. The main problem that the sheets comes from different time period, and if the settlement border was changed, it is not possible to fit it together. And there are some special problems with the different geodetic system in Croatia, especially the military border was different like the civil border. So we have to solve, and we solve these problems, and we can make georeferences. The result is county mosaic of Croatia. The accuracy is very important. The accuracy is about 15 or 20 meters, and we have coordinates, and we can see the different counties, different županija, and we can see some missing sheets on it. And we can see it in leaf mode again. This is Bjelovar again. You remember that Bjelovar was small. In this case, in the case of the cadastral maps, it's 10 times bigger, and 10 times 10 is 100 bigger. So one sheet in the military survey is 100 sheet for the cadastral map. So we can see Bjelovar in high resolution, and in this case, if we change the opacity of maps, we can see that the statue is there a statue. Maybe is there a statue in the middle of the green. There is a 5 meters difference between the old maps and between today maps. So the accuracy of the georeference is very good. It's smaller than 10 meters. So we can see the parcela number, we can see the house, and we can see everything in Bjelovar. And we can see the whole Croatia. We can see the settlement border. The settlement border accuracy is about 20 meters, and we can see the whole country. The whole country. Yeah, this is the whole mosaic. And And the goal and the next step is to fill the gaps, make the puzzle of Croatia. We almost finished the work in Croatian State Archive. In this week we digitized the last maps. We digitized reambulacija, we digitized komasacija and indikacija škice, and we scanned polske prednosti. So it's a very, very special and very late copies and with pure quality, but we would like to make the puzzle which we can. So before yesterday I was in Osijek Regional Archive, and thanks to God we found no star and Törpinja from Srijemska, so Srijemska almost full, and we found Erdut, Dajvrpoje, Osijek in Virovitička, and we found, I think, the whole Baranja, because Baranja was not in the Croatian State Archive, and we will digitize these missing settlements, and we will digitize Baranja, the whole Baranja. Unfortunately, Zagreb Županija is in a worse situation. About 150 settlement is missing. Maybe we found in Zagreb city archives about 30 settlements, but maybe 100 settlements is disappeared or somewhere else. As I know, the Međimurje archives digitized the Međimurje county, and Varaždin, Lika, Modroš, Požega, and Belovar are in the good situation. I think almost the 80-85% is ready. Only some settlements are missing. They has to be in the regional archive, land office, or maybe at home, some person. We have some copy in Hungary, so maybe we will use it to fulfill the puzzle. I would like to show you some other Mapire application. Is it a very detailed map for Budapest, Hungarian capital of Hungary. So it's the same technology, we have the same technology. We can see in very, very detailed. The cadastral map was in 1 to 28,000. It's 1 to 700 only. So we can see the changes. This map was used in Budapest from 1873 until 1921. And everything was changing in Budapest. It can be seen on the map. And we have 35 different maps from the different time period. So we can start from the 70-75 until 90-30. Very new map. And we can see the changing of maps. The old maps are very, very beautiful, colored, and the new map, terrible. I don't enjoy the maps from the 20th century. So we can see the old maps, beautiful colors and beautiful drawing. So this is another project, the City Maps project, and we would like to use different city map to publish on Mapire. We digitized last month in Kriegsarchiv London, Rome, Wien, Paris, Moscow. Moscow, I think that Moscow was drawn by Napoleon. It comes from the first years of 18th century, so it has to be made by Napoleon. Another example to publish everything on Mapire, everything, many things which belongs to maps in Mapire. For example, there is a huge project, Croatian, involved in this project, the International Historic Town Atlas. We published on Mapire the Austrian Historic Town Atlas, and we can mix together the data and the Mapire. If somebody click on it, on the text, we can show the first and second military survey of Egenburg, for example, and it comes from the Mapire. So the text and the maps can work together. So we have different application on it. For example, we have too much application. We have 300,000 postcard on Mapire, and we can see on the map. We are here in Opatija, and we have 1,000 old postcard from Opatija. We can see the old postcard, Grausaus Abbazia. The postcard was made before the First World War, and we can see the old postcard. Abbazia Villa Angolina, beautiful villa in Abbazia. And we can see the Mapire, how many postcards we have. For example, there is Rijeka 2000, and Zagreb we have about 1000. But we have Rogaška Slatina, 66 old postcard from Rogaška Slatina. Many lectures speaks about the crowdsourcing and crowd working. We have competition when the user can define the exact GPS coordinates for postcard. So ZW Tor is the first in this month. He defined, or she defined, 2,500 GPS coordinates from postcard. So it is possible to define the GPS coordinate with 10 meters precision. So I ask you to define the coordinate from Zagreb, Opatija, and Croatian, and you can win ARCANUM CD or DVD if you are in the first one or the second one in that month. So it's a crowd work to define the GPS coordinates for maps, because it was made by Google search, and we defined automatically the place, but it has to be an error, and it shows to the center of the city, and you can change the exact coordinates, you can change the place of the map postcard too. Let's go back to fill the gaps. So we have old postcards from European cities before First World War, Austrian Historical Town Atlas, and another example. This is an urbarium of Maria Theresia, and we can see on the maps that where we have Kopacki urbarium, and we can see the name of the peasant, name of the workers in that territory. I hope there are many Croatia in Kopački. So the Mapire is a possibility to publish data on old maps. So it's better to understand the Urbarium, which is Maria Theresia Urbarium, was made in 1780, and we can use the original maps from the 1780. So we can better understanding about the villages, about the settlement, and about the situation. What is the future of the Mapire? We would like to broaden the territory. We digitized 2 months ago the detailed manuscript map for Italy, Bavaria, and Lotharingia. It is in the Kriegshall in Vienna, and it's again a beautiful manuscript map. After it, next month we will digitize the detailed printed maps, because there is no manuscript map from Germany, Italy, Russia, and Great Britain and France. It's a question that what about the Istria, Dalmatia, Galicia, Bosnia cadastral maps? It has to be somewhere because it was made for the whole monarchy. And as I told you, we are working on detailed city maps: Wien, London, Rome, Paris, and Moscow. So we would like to develop continuously the Mapire with the different maps. Yes, we fly already. And I would like to tell you one sentence about the technology. So as you see, for example, the military survey or the cadastral maps is one image about 2,000 square meters, and we can use it, we can handle it as a one image. So it's very important that we use open source material. We use the open layer technology, and the open layer can use very, very huge images. For example, we digitize paintings in very detailed method, and we can see every detailed information about the huge paintings too. So this is the technology we can use everywhere, for every images, every pictures, and every images too. And just a short information about the panoramic scanner. The Google used this technology for the Google Arts project. So we build up a huge panorama scanner, and we can scan a huge paintings 3 meters times 3 meters. We make 100 high-resolution images, and we stick together, and we have very huge images with every detail on the maps or on the paintings. This is the panoramic technology. It's very new on our side, and we can use it for huge maps, which is not possible to scan by the map scanner. Thank you very much.